Tell you a story. Something that I was talking to somebody in the office, and we were talking about the meaning of life, I suppose. And I started to tell the story, and the story turned into an insight, and I want to share it with you. Um, I was driving along once upon a time, and I came to a traffic lights, and directly opposite me at the traffic lights there was a van, and in the van there was a man and a woman, and they looked pretty rough. And I was sitting in my sports car or whatever, and I immediately passed judgment on them. And just the moment after I passed judgment, something remarkable happened. About 20 kids that they had in the back of this big van jumped up and started hugging them and kissing them, and they were all laughing and joking and whatever. And it struck me really forcibly. I stopped and I thought, here am I sitting in my fancy car on my own, and yet here these people with their kids around them, the husband and wife or whatever, and they all seemed very, very happy. Now maybe they weren't, who knows these things. But what struck me about it was this whole notion of what is happiness, what is contentment, what is this concept of a long-term feeling of I am content, my life has meaning, my life is worthwhile, I can see the direction of my life, I'm doing something that I want to do with my life. And how does one identify what this is? I believe this is one of the great questions, philosophical questions, maybe psychological questions, that the modern world needs to ask itself. I think that there's a huge angst in the world at the moment. The vast majority of people actually don't know what they want out of life. They don't know what makes them feel content. I'm not talking about up and down happiness, like a yo-yo, day in, day out, week in, week out, whatever. We all have that depending on what we ate last night for dinner. But I'm talking about this feeling that my life actually makes sense. And it begs the question, it's nothing to do with money, clearly. It's got nothing to do with status, it's got nothing to do with any of these things. Really, it's to do with the choice. And maybe money or status, for sure, if that's the choice, if that's what you recognise that you require. But I think it's a question that we all need to ask ourselves. We have a workbook, an exercise called The Fox and the Hedgehog, based on Isaiah Berlin's story and based on Jim Collins' Good to Great book, where it comes with the hedgehog, Passion. And the whole idea of this workbook is to help people articulate, get out of their heads what it is that they really want, do they really add value, what do they really enjoy doing, what gives them a sense of contentment. For example, I get a huge sense of satisfaction out of these video clips, sharing my thoughts. I get a huge sense of satisfaction out of the work that we do. It's a commercial business, it's there to make a buck, but I actually believe we're making a difference. I believe we're making a contribution, we're helping people, helping organisations become all they can be, which is really what we're about. And so I personally, even though we have our ups and downs financially in the business like everybody else, I actually feel that we're doing something meaningful. It gives me a sense of contentment. I feel my life is worthwhile. And so I'd encourage you all to think about this. If anybody wants a copy of the workbook, email us. Just send us an email, and I'll send it to you for free. You can have it and have a look at it and see if it be of any help to you. So what does contentment or happiness mean to you? Can you define it? Can you understand it? And can you do something about it? My insight for today.